Hey everybody, Ryan here. Alright, well, we had the craziness of the Washington New York Rangers game today, so let's get to explaining that one. Alright, this is the review of all NHL games from the 5th of of May 2021. If you have not done so already, please hit that like and hit that subscribe button. It helps the channel out, both of them, so please hit both buttons if you have not done so already. Alright, let's get started. First game was between Dallas and Tampa, rematch of last year's finals. Dallas with a chance of either catching up to Nashville or possibly being eliminated. That does not help your cause, Dallas. 6-2, Tampa Bay won this one. 2:14 into the first, Tyler Johnson's eighth from Alex Killorn. That 19:33 of the first, Tyler Seguin's second goal of the year in his second goal in his mini games from Joe Pavelski and Jason Robertson. Then at 16:39 in the second, Killorn makes it a 2-1 game, his 15th on the power play for Yanni Gourde and Braden Point. Then at 19:46 in the second, Braden Point makes it 3-1 with his 23rd of the year unassisted. Then at 10:44 of the third, Andrei Sekharach's third goal of the year from Joel Hanley and Rupe Hintz brings it to a 1-goal game. But then Dallas loses it. 11:34 into the third, Eric Chernak scores his 5th of the year from Goodrow and Coleman. At 16:47 of the third, Ross Colton's 9th from Matthew Joseph and Eric Chernak. Then at 19:07, Sergachev will score his 4th from Chernak and Johnson, giving Tampa the 6-2 victory. Dallas outshot him 22-20. Tampa beat him in the faceoff dot 56-44. Pop was 0 for 2 for Dallas, 1 for 4 for Tampa. Penalty minutes 8-4, 8 for Dallas. Hits were 29-26 in favor of Dallas. Blocks 18-9 in favor of Dallas. Giveaways 5-0, Tampa with 5. Ottinger had 14 assists for a 7.787% save percentage in the loss. And Vasilevsky 20 saves for 909 save percentage in the victory. Next up, North Division matchup, we have Montreal versus Ottawa. Ottawa makes them look bad. Real bad. 11:35 into the first, Shane Pinto's first career goal. Congrats to him. From Artem Zub and Eric Brandstrom. Then at 3:44 of the second, Brady Tkachuk's 17th goal of the year from Josh Norris and Eric Brandstrom. Then at 19:28, Montreal makes a 1-goal game. Joel Edmondson's third from Tyler Toffoli and Nick Suzuki. You think they're going to go into the third with some momentum? Nope. 19:52 of the second. 8 seconds left in the period. Nick Paul's 5th from Eric Brandstrom. Yep, that happened. 4:40 into the third, Connor Brown's 19th from Zub and Chris Tierney. Then at 10:19, Ottawa will finish a scoring for this game, make it 5-1. Alex Formenton's 4th from Paul and Colin White. Ottawa with the 2 points. They've been pretty good of late, honestly. They may end up being a pretty good team next year. Montreal, I don't know what to say about Montreal at this point. That hasn't been said already. Ottawa outshot Montreal 34-31. Faceoffs were 55-45 in favor of Ottawa. Power play 0 for 1 for Montreal, 0 for 2 for Ottawa. Penalty minutes 6-4, Montreal was 6. Hits were 37-31 in favor of Ottawa. Blocks 20-16 in favor of Ottawa. Giveaway 16-14, Ottawa was 16. Jake Allen 29 saves for 853 save percentage in the loss. Forsberg had 30 saves for 968 save percentage in the victory. Alright, Washington versus the New York Rangers. Like I talked about yesterday, this whole thing that you're going to see coming from this game could have been avoided. If Tom Wilson hadn't been an idiot and had his stick underneath Bugnevich's neck while he was down under the ice and punched him in the back of the head while he was down prone on the ice, all could have been prevented. And then he could have easily look back when he was being pulled off of Bugnevich and seen that it was, after he was on Strome at the time. If he had looked back and just seen that it was Artemi Panarin trying to pull him off, and just held up, just stopped right there. Pushed him off him, that's fine. But didn't need to go as crazy as he did. If he hadn't done those things, this game would not have happened the way it did. And I still feel, even after this game, I don't feel this is over. I really did not get that feeling that the Rangers got the closure they wanted. So I don't think this is over. We may see this heat up next year again. Capitals win this game 4-2. Now, there'd be no score in the first, but right after the puck was dropped, 1 second into the game, 3 fights. Nick Dowd fights Kevin Rooney, the 2 centermen. Carl Hagelin and Colin Blackwell fight, and Garnett Hathaway and Philip DiGiuseppe. Now, none of these were great fights. I mean, Hathaway and DiGiuseppe were probably the better fight, but it still was not a great one. Then at the 52nd mark, Tom Wilson finally takes the ice. And he is immediately attacked by Brendan Smith, who I'm sure him and his teammates and his team are very proud of him for getting that instigator. And I don't blame him. I really don't. I give him a lot of respect because he went after someone. He's not in the same caliber fighting range at all. But you know what? That's probably... Brendan Smith is probably the most experienced fighter they have. And he's not even a fighter. So he went after him. He did pretty good in the fight. Not gonna lie. I mean, I personally would call it a draw. I think both got decent punches in, but Smith did get the jump on him, so there's that. Then at 4:14 of the first, Anthony Bitetto and Michael Raffl fight. Then for some reason the NHL has these at the same time, because I think Strome and Eller would end up fighting before they even drop the puck again. So those two get fighting majors. There you go. Then it stays calm for the rest of that period. It was pretty funny watching the clown car penalty boxes because it was 6 guys in the Washington one and 6 guys in the Rangers one. So there were 2 guys on each side standing. And guess who got to stand? Tom Wilson. Probably the other guys going, we had to fight because of what you did, dude. Come on, you got to stand for this. All right, 12 seconds into the second period, TJ Oshie scores his 19th goal of the year on the power play from Dylan and Van Riemsdyk. Now, the whole Tom Wilson thing overshadowed what's happened to TJ Oshie. He announced the other day that his father passed away. So he's playing with a heavy heart and trying to play a game for his father. So my heart goes out to him and his family. Hopefully everybody can keep chugging along, because that's all you can really do in that situation. Just keep chugging along. Oshie, as you can see by the numbers, had a good game for his dad's memory. Unfortunately, we had to have the shenanigans, but once again, if Tom Wilson had held himself back, it wouldn't have happened. We would have been able to focus on TJ Oshie and letting him get through what he needed to get through. So, there's that. Just letting everybody know. Alright. 8:26 into the second, TJ Oshie would score his second goal of the game, 20th of the year, from Dmitry Orlov and Nicholas Backstrom. Now, I forgot to put on there, I forgot to say it, at 4:39 in the second, Pavel Buchnevich will get a major. I didn't write it down because NHL.com didn't say what it was for necessarily. Now, he got the major because he and Anthony Mantha got into a dust-up, and Buchnevich did not take Mantha's challenge to fight him. He skated away. Then when the whistle blew, Mantha came at him, and Buchnevich, I couldn't tell if he used the butt end of his stick in his hand to hit Mantha in the face, or he cross-checked him in the face. I could not tell. But either way, he got a 5-minute major in game misconduct. Mantha got a minor, so they end up only with a 3-minute power play of the Capitals. So that was really the last of the major penalties. There were still skirmishes throughout the rest of the game, but they moved on from that, at least for now. I forgot to mention Oshie's second goal was from Orlov and Backstrom. 14:48 into the second, Nick Dowd's 11 from John Carlson and Dmitry Orlov. Then Rangers finally get something. Minute 15 into the third, Lexi Lafreniere's 11th, shorthanded from Phil Cheadle. Then 18:20 in the third, TJ Oshie completes the hat trick, his 21st goal of the year from Hagelin and Orlov. I'm sure that felt great for Oshie getting that just after his dad passed away, so I'm sure he feels, I wouldn't say better, but at least he feels he gave his dad a good send-off, I'd say. Then at 18:44 into the third, Morgan Barron would score his first career goal. Congrats to him. From Zach Jones and Libor Hayek. Capitals outshot the Rangers 35-21. You could tell the Rangers have one thing in mind. They've been eliminated. They had nothing to lose at this point. They get guys suspended or fined at this point. Who cares? So they just were more focused on going after and hurting the Capitals at this point. Faceoffs were 65-35 in favor of the Capitals. Power plays, for some reason, NHL.com was freaking out on this. It said that Capitals were 2-0, which makes no sense. So I just wrote down the 2 because they had 2 power play goals. Rangers had none. Penalty minutes were 85-56. Rangers with 85. That is obviously the highest amount of penalty minutes in one game so far this year. Hits were 18-11 in favor of the Rangers. Blocks 16-8 in favor of the Rangers. Giveaways 9-6. Rangers with 9. Vanacek had 19 saves for a .905 save percentage in the victory for the Capitals. And Georgiev, he played really well in the first period. I will give him that. Unfortunately, let in some in the second and third. But Georgiev had 31 saves for a .912 save percentage for the loss. Alright. I'm leaving that at that. I'm not going to talk anymore about the whole Tom Wilson thing. I've already said my piece. I'm moving on now. You know what? It is what it is. Nashville versus Columbus. Columbus won this one 4-2, preventing Nashville from clinching tonight. Because of Dallas' loss, they had a chance at clinching if they won. They did not. Alright, 3:22 into the first, Tanner Janot scores his 4th unassisted. Then 2:08 the second, Jack Roslovic would score his 11th on the power play from Atkinson and Bjorkstrand. Then at 17:53 the second, Kelly Yarncrog gives Nashville a lead again, his 13th a year unassisted. Then at 19:09 of the second, Bjorkstrand would score his 16th from Mikko Lehtinen and Vladislav Gavrikov, tying the game. Then at 13:50 the third, the game-winning goal, Mikhail Grigorenko would score his 4th from Gavrikov and Lehtinen. Then 19:59, 1 second left, Bjorkstrand would score his 17th from Domi and Atkinson, giving the Columbus Blue Jackets the win. Playing spoiler. Shots on goal were 32-27 in favor of Nashville. Faceoffs 51-49 in favor of Nashville. Power plays 0 for 1 for Nashville, 1 for 2 for Columbus. Penalty minutes 4-2. Nashville with 4. Hits were 17 each. Blocks 16-11 in favor of Columbus. Giveaways 5-3. Columbus with 5. Juicy Saros had 23 saves for 885 save percentage. Merzlikins 30 saves, 938 save percentage for the victory. Next up was Anaheim versus St. Louis. Now this one was a little bit of a special game because the Ducks played David Backes, first time in a while it feels like, but they gave him the proper respect and send out he deserved because I'm not sure he's going to play again. He didn't say it after the game either. The Blues gave him a great send-off because he was their captain for 5 years. He definitely was a fan favorite for a very long time there. So he was given a proper send-off. If it is his last game, it's definitely his last game in St. Louis. And they also gave Ryan Miller a send-off. Ryan Miller was the backup tonight. He was not the starter. So good job, Blues, and good job, Ducks, on giving Backes that final hoorah in St. Louis. He almost scored a goal. He missed that wide open net. It was like, that would have been perfect. And would have avoided overtime in that situation, but it is what it is. Alright, 11:52 into the first, Mike Hoffman 17th on the power play from Ryan O'Reilly and Justin Falk. Then at 12:57 in the second, Max Jones would score 7th from Sam Carrick and Cam Fowler. Then at 2:15 in the third, the Ducks would take their first lead of the game. Hayden Fleury's 3rd of the year, 2nd as a Duck. from Troy Terry and Trevor Zegras. Then 5:29 in the third, Kyle Clifford, of all people, scored his 4th goal of the year from Ivan Barbashev. I swear, I would not be surprised if all or the majority of Clifford's 4 goals have been against the Ducks this year. In the no scoring after that. No scoring in overtime. Shootout. Troy Terry scores the one and only shootout goal, making it the game winner, giving the Ducks the victory, which does not help them in the standings, but they're still second worst, so that's the good news. And St. Louis not clinching yet. We'll see if they do, because all it takes is Arizona losing later, and St. Louis clinches anyways. All right, shots on goal were 35-26 in favor of Anaheim. Face-off 60-40 in favor of St. Louis. Power play 0 for 2 for Anaheim, 1 for 3 for I almost said LA. St. Louis. Penalty minutes 11-9, 11 for Anaheim. Hits were 23-17 in favor of Anaheim. Blocks 11-8, St. Louis with 11. Giveaways 21-18 in favor of Anaheim, or not in favor. Anaheim with 21. Stolarz had a pretty stellar game. 24 saves, 923 save percentage. He looked very good in this game, especially in the shootout. Binnington 33 saves for a 943 save percentage for the loss. Next up is Vegas versus Minnesota. Vegas pulls this one out 3-2 in overtime. Alright, no scoring in the first, 8:30 in the second. Chandler Stevenson's 13th from Matthias Janmark. Janmark's looked really good since coming over from Chicago. He has been a good fit so far for Vegas. Alright, then 11:13 to the third. Kirill Kaprizov scores his 25th from Zuccarello and Hartman. At 13:23, Kaprizov gets his 2nd goal of the game, giving Minnesota their first and only lead of this game from Ryan Hartman. Then at 15:44 to the third, Riley Smith would tie the game, his 10th of the year on the power play, from William Karlsson and Alec Martinez. Then we go to overtime. Mid-53 in, Alex Petrangelo's 5th goal of the year for Alex Tuch and Jonathan Marchessault, giving Vegas the 2 points to stay ahead of Colorado no matter how their game goes today. And I evidently forgot to write down all the stats for this game, so. Next game. Colorado versus San Jose. San Jose won this one 3-2, which, out of a 4-game series, San Jose won 1. And barely at that. Alright, no scoring in the first, 15:39 into the second. Tyson Joe scores his 4th of the year from Nemeth and McDonald. Then 18:18 in the second, Burakovsky scores his 17th from Kadri and Timmins. Then at 19:47 of the second, Tomas Hertl scores his 18th from Vander Kane and Alexander Barabanov. Then at 2:50 of the third, Hertl scores his 19th from Kane and Kanishov. Then at 9:18 of the third, Erik Karlsson's 7th of the year on the power play from Kane and Hertl, giving San Jose the game-winning goal there and the 2 points. San Jose beat Colorado in the shot category, 33-32. Colorado beat them in the face-off dot, 53-47. Colorado 0 for 2, San Jose 1 for 4. Penalty minutes 8-4, Colorado with 8. Hits were 29-18 in favor of San Jose. Blocks were 21-7 in favor of San Jose. Giveaways 9-7, San Jose with 9. Grubauer had 30 saves for 909 save percentage. And Kornosh 30 saves, 938 save percentage for the victory. Colorado looked kind of, I don't want to say tired, but just uninterested in the last half of this game, it felt like. They just were kind of bleh. They weren't really trying very hard, it didn't seem. But it is what it is. Alright, on to Winnipeg versus Calgary. Winnipeg wins. They snapped this 7-game losing streak. Miracles do happen. No, I'm kidding. It is nice to end a 7-game losing skid, though. That is definitely nice. 4-0. Winnipeg wins this one. Minute 9 into the first, Adam Lowry's 9th from Andrew Kopp. Then at 5:33 the second, Lowry's 10th, second of the game, shorthanded from DeMello. 1846 into the second. Blake Wheeler's 12 for Neil Pionk and Lowry. Then 302 to the third. Wheel-wee. Evidently, I was trying to spell Wheeler, and I failed miserably. I spelled Wheel-wee. Well, Wheel-wee had his 13th goal of the year, second of the game, from Scheifele and Stastny, giving us our final score of 4-0. Winnipeg with the win. Calgary actually outshot them pretty heavily, 32-19. Winnipeg won the faceoff dot, 52-48. Power plays 1 for 3 for Winnipeg, 0 for 5 for Calgary. Penalty minutes were 10-6. Winnipeg with 10. Hits were 19-9 in favor of Calgary. Blocks 13 each. Giveaways 22-10. Calgary with 22 giveaways. Hellebuck had 32 saves, shutout for the victory. And Markstrom 15 saves, 7.89 save percentage. This Winnipeg team, yes, they won today. But looking at those stats, wow, this team is woefully ill-prepared for the playoffs at this point. I don't think I'd pick them for a first-round victory this year. LA versus Arizona, our last game of the evening, and the decider of who clinches in the West. And LA wins, giving St. Louis that 4th place spot. So now we have, I believe that is two, maybe 3 divisions, because I think even the North may have all clinched today. I could be incorrect, though. I'd have to check on the North, but for sure in the West they did. All right. 1:19 into the first, Oliver Ekman-Larsson's third from Connor Garland and Michael Bunting. Then at 4:29 of the first period, Gabriel Velarde's 8th from Iafallo and Walker. Then at 13:03, Jaret Anderson-Dolan's 7th from Athanasiou, and Quinn Byfield getting his first career point. Congrats to him. 17:44 into the first, Jacob Chychrun would score his 18th on the power play from Garland and Goligoski. Oh man, the Arizona Coyotes wasted a great year for Jacob Chychrun. Terrible year for Oliver Ekman-Larsson. If they were to trade him to someone like Boston, like they were talking about before, at this point, I don't think his stock's as high now as it was last year. 4:42 into the third, Velarde would score his 9th goal of the year, second of the game, from Lias Anderson and Walker. Then at 19:23, Walker would score his 3rd goal of the year unassisted to give us our final score of 4-2. Arizona outshot LA 30-22. They beat them in the faceoff dot, 56-44. LA 0 for 1 on the power play. Arizona 1 for 4. Penalty minutes 10-4. LA with 10. Hits were 30-22 in favor of Arizona. Blocks 14-10 in favor of LA. 7 giveaways each. Peterson had 28 saves for a .933 save percentage for the victory, and Adin Hill 18 saves, .857 save percentage for the loss. There you have it. One insane game and a whole bunch of normal games and some clinchings tonight. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that like button and make sure to hit that subscribe button as well. Comment and share, and I will see you all next video. Bye, everybody.